Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Olugbe Misola with you again. This is Dreams of the Heart TV and you are most welcome. Today the topic I will be talking about is start where you are, or you can put it this way, start with what you have. You know, this topic is something that is very dear to my heart. A lot of times when you have a project you're working on or the dreams that you have in your heart that you really want to carry out, you don't really know how to start. A lot of times you're wondering, I need so much to start, but I don't even have it. Sometimes you look at the resources that you have, and if you look at it, you're gonna think, I'm not ready, And but one thing I've learned is that a lot of times when you start where you are, when you just start with what you have, irregardless of whether you have the full details or the little details that you have, when you just start, as you begin to go ahead with the dream, as you begin to go ahead with the vision, a lot of time things begin to fall into place. People that you need will begin to come into your life, because as you prepare for what you're doing, as you prepare, those people will begin to come to help you with that vision or with that dream. This is something that's happened to me a couple of times. A good example is when I started writing. I just knew I love to write, and I started writing, and I remember I used to wonder, I'm writing, who's going to publish this book? Who's going to edit it? I don't know anything about editing or publishing, but all I just did was I was diligent in the place of writing, and God brought people into my life to help me along the way. But one thing I know is that they didn't come into my life before I started writing. No, I had actually written my first manuscript. I had it written and I was working on the second manuscript, at the time. And then I met this couple, and I've shared the story over and over again. And then because I was prepared to a certain extent, they took it upon themselves to help me do the editing, and then eventually they published the book. So that's an example. I started with what I have. What I had at the time was writing. I didn't have anything else really. Another example is these videos you're watching. It's really interesting how they started. I've wanted to do videos for a very long time, but I always wonder, how am I going to do it? How am I going to go ahead with it? And I remember one day I was at work, I was just working, and then God said to me, I think it's about time you start these videos. And I'm like, I'm not ready for the videos. And he said, yes, you are. But I thought, I don't really think so. And he said, when you get home tomorrow, you should start. You start tomorrow when you get home. And I'm like, okay. So I got home, and then I remember that morning, I couldn't even, it was just so much on my mind. I woke my son that does a lot of media, and I said to him, we're going to start our videos. So that Saturday morning, I woke him up. I said, let's go do it. I didn't even know. As at the time, I didn't realize somebody had given him a camera the week I was actually going to start my videos. And he had been experimenting, learning how to use the camera, because I was still thinking, okay, if I'm going to start, I can use my iPad. I think that would work. But then he had this camera and he had learned how to use it. I said, oh, mommy, we don't even need to use the iPad. We can use my camera. I've learned how to use it. I know the funny thing, that very day he started using his camera to record these videos that you're watching. And this is the 15th episode that we're doing. So we've done 15 episodes of this. And from the very first one, I didn't know he had the ability. He edits the videos, he puts the music to the videos, and he uploads it. All I do is just talk, and he does everything else. Why am I sharing this? Is because as I started to say, okay, I'm going to do the video, then he was there to help me along. I didn't know he knew all that he knew how to do until I started. So a lot of times you don't realize there are people that God has placed in your life. There are people that He's placed in your way to help you with what He has called you to do until you start. If you don't start, those people are just going to be there. They might not even know the vision in your heart. They might not even know what you're called to do. They might not even know that purpose. They might not even know that they're called to help you. But as you start, then he begins to stir people up around you to help you to carry out that vision, to carry out that purpose. So what is that vision? That's my challenge to you today. What is that dream that you've been saying, oh, I want to start, but I don't have enough resources. Oh, I want to start, but I don't know how. What do you have in your hand? What is it that you can start with? You know, whatever it is that you want to start with. I don't know. Mine was writing. I don't know what yours could be. There are 1,001 things that you're called to do, you know. Different people are called to do. What is that thing that you have to start with? Whatever it is, it could be using your voice. So maybe if you start using your voice right now, you start, and as you start, maybe you're meant to have albums. People are meant to listen to you sing. You know, you're called to this world to bless your world through singing. We would never know until you sit down and say, you know what? I'm going to start to experiment with what I have. I'm going to just sing. And then somebody might come and see you and say, oh, you love to sing. I can do this for you and I can do that for you. There are so many ways people help us, but we might not even know that they know how to help us until we start. So my challenge to you this week is, whatever you're called to do, you start where you are. You might be called to start a women's ministry, so you might be called to start a business. The people that are going to help you, you know, you might be called to start an orphanage. Like I always say, the people that are called to help you are waiting. The people that you're called to are waiting. But until you start with what you have right now, you might never know how far you can go. You might never know the people that are going to help you. You might never experience that help. Like I said earlier on, the things that my son does, the way he helps me with these videos, I never knew he knew how to do them until I started. So this week, do something, start where you are, and your dreams will be realized, your purposes will be fulfilled. Those projects that you're working on will manifest. And we'll see you next week. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video. I love you to subscribe. I love you to share with as many people as you can. People, if you think it's going to inspire someone, please share it with them. And I'd like to hear feedback. I would like to hear stories of good things that you're doing. Have a great week.